Viewer discretion is advised.
Black Lives Matter. Now put your fist up.
Why do Black Lives Matter?
Black lives matter to me because I feel that all lives should matter. My son was a victim of violence with a black-on-black crime in Fort Wayne, Indiana. All lives should matter, not only black lives, but all lives, but especially black, because we're getting judged differently by the color of our skin. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Black lives matter. Now say it.
Black Lives Matter. Now put your fist up.
Tommy Smith sets a new world record in the 200 meters with John Carlos taking the bronze.
And I'm supposed to stand up there and look at a flag, put my hand over my heart, saying how proud I am because the flag has represented me? I don't think so, because it did not. So when the national anthem started playing, I was not looking at the ground. I was praying the Lord's Prayer. My head bowed and my fist went up in the air. I wore black gloves to represent social power or black power. I wore socks, not shoes, to represent poverty. I wore a black scarf around my neck to symbolize the lynching, the hangings that black folks went through while building this country.
Why do your Black life matter?
My life matters because it's just like anybody else's. You know, I have opportunities. You know, I'm entitled to be able to wake up every day, walk outside, do what I got to do, and not have to worry about being shot in the back. Or being taken to jail wrongfully, or being beat by the police.
The county grand jury signaled that will be the extent of the criminal case. 17 other so-called police bystanders at the beating scene will not be indicted. A development noted.
A lot of other people don't have to deal with that. We've been dealing with that since the beginning. It's still going on. I was just telling a friend we've been marching for 60 years.
Birmingham, Alabama. Civil rights leaders felt that by desegregating this city, they would gain enormous ground in this struggle to end racial separation. Thus began one of the most dramatic conflicts for equality. On May 2nd, 1963, after months of peaceful marches and protests, threats of job loss, and the arrest of hundreds of demonstrators, it was obvious the movement needed help.
Talking about the same issue. It really hasn't changed. And that's why my black life matters.
Blacks matter. Lives. Oh yeah. Black lives matter. Yeah. Black lives matter. 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 Yeah, I think it's like it doesn't work for 7:30, so I'll call you about 7.
Let's not turn this into a hate movement, even though they did what they did to us.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
Let's not turn this into a hate movement, even though they did what they did to us.
Please be careful, sir. Now say to me. Blacks matter. Just let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it.
My black life matters because I want to be a nurse when I grow up.
Hold on, I say it again.
My black life matters because I want to be a nurse when I grow up.
So much injustice that we still facing. We can't be stereotypical because every black man ain't a nigga, every white ain't a racist.
I grew up in a mostly white community, neighborhood, school, and eventually I was working in an urban setting with the community center, and just over the process of time started waking up to the reality of my black brothers and sisters was so utterly different than my reality, and it continues to shake me how unfair that is, and that ways that I'm able to just so freely speak and show up and shop and walk in my neighborhood. All these things, I mean, like, just all these things I take for granted, and I don't want to take them for granted anymore. I want to be a part of changing my pale, melanin deficient sisters and brothers to say we have to be part of the change of institutional racism because Black lives do matter, and it hasn't been fair. So this isn't a movement that says all lives don't matter. They do, but when it's so utterly disproportionately unfair over hundreds of years, and we keep living that out decade by decade, even when we make small strides, we're in this time right now that I'm just utterly appalled that we let racists just rise up and speak hatred when these are real people. This isn't an issue. Black Lives Matter is not an issue. It's about people. And so that's why I'm here, is because I want all people to live fully and without fear, because we're all better off for that.
So much injustice that we still facing. We can't be stereotypical because every black man ain't a nigga, every white ain't a racist.
Why do Black lives matter?
Because you're just like me, just different skin color. We're all the same.
Is it on? Oh, we stopped that.
Why do your Black life matter?
My Black life matters because I sow life in everything and anything. And if my life don't matter, my future doesn't matter. Our kids don't matter. Anything doesn't matter. So my life matters because it sows into other lives.
Oh, see. Is it on right now? Hold on, can you restart that? No.
Lives ready. Black lives matter for me. It means equality. It means safe space, a safe space. Being in my own space, being able to move through this universe uninhibited. It means freedom.
The Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land.
It means not the illusion of freedom, but real, actual freedom. Freedom that you're allowed to go and move into different places and spaces and not be harassed and not be mistaken for the next robber.
Mr. Zimmerman told the 911 operator he was following Martin.
Are you following him? Yeah. Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Or the person who's in there stealing, or just being able to just be and just be free and just who you are. You know, I think it's something that you should have been born with. It's your birthright. That's what Black Lives Matter to me.
Am I just supposed to say it?
Black lives matter, now put your fist up.
Why do your Black life matter?
Because I am somebody.
Yes, I'm black. I'm proud of it. I'm black and beautiful.
I have children whose lives matter as well, and if I can't matter, then my children don't either. So that's why my life matters.
Black lives matter.
Why do your Black life matter?
My Black life matters because I have adult black men, sons. I have a 13-year-old grandson. So coming out here supporting Black Lives Matter hopefully will bring some equality so that my boys don't have to worry about whether or not they'll get pulled over and if they're going to be able to come home. That's why Black Lives Matter to me.
blacks matter.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
Black lives matter because black people, they don't need anybody else to help them but their family. Also, like how I was teaching him how to say a word. Now let's say if another person would have walked up to him, oh no, that's not how you say it. I would walk up to him and say, well, he doesn't know how to say it. And I also think why Black Lives Matter is because white people, they just think it's unfair over everything. And I don't like how that feels because black people, they should be treated how the same thing how they should be treating other people. Not just white. White shouldn't get all that fancy stuff. Black people should get the same.
Why your Black Lives Matter?
I don't like the cops. They'll always be racist. I like my black lives.
What school y'all go to?
I go to grade school.
What grade you in? What grade you in? Oh, you are very intelligent. I can tell. Stay intelligent and don't care what nobody say about you, okay? Because you being smart is going to allow you to help him in the future. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be in college and you're going to be able to get a good job and take care of your family. And he's always going to be able to come to you and ask you for money and get help from you. So you're going to have to help him and you're going to have to teach him. You know, you're going to have to sit down and read books with him. You know what I'm saying? Teach him how to write. Teach him how to do things like that. Don't worry about your friends because he mattered. This your brother, right?
Cousin.
This your cousin? Do you see him a lot?
Yeah.
You do? Well, help him a lot. Help him out a lot so he can be smart like you. Bring him to your level. Read him book. You like to read?
Mm-hmm.
Read books with him. And you sit down and read with her. If you see her reading a book, if you see her writing or drawing or doing something, you sit down and you try to learn from her. Okay? You ready?
Yeah.
Black lives matter. Now put your fist up. When black lives matter to black lives, that's when we gonna overcome. Black lives matter. Now put your fist up.